Okay, to New Hampshire now, where Democratic Congressman and 2020 candidate Tim Ryan just wrapped up his speech at the state's Democratic Party convention. He is also responding to a comment he made this week in which he said he believes Joe Biden is declining and doesn't have the energy to take on Donald Trump. Here's what Tim Ryan just told CNN's Arlette Saenz.
Typically what you meant.
Well, I made the statement. It was a comment that I made, and I'm not backtracking from it. It is a concern you're hearing from a lot of people in the country. I'm just saying that it's unclear sometimes when he is articulating positions. There's a lack of clarity, and I'll leave it at that.
Be enrolled, they wouldn't have to buy in. That's a big difference, because Barack Obama's vision was not to leave 10 million people uncovered. He wanted every single person in this country covered. My plan would do that. Your plan would not.
They do not have to buy in. They do not have to buy in.
You just said that. You just said that 2 minutes ago. You just said 2 minutes ago that they would have to buy in. You said they would have to buy in.
Have to buy in. If she qualifies for Medicaid,
are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?
Be in for it.
Are you forgetting already what you said just 2 minutes ago? I mean, I can't believe that you said 2 minutes ago that they had to buy in, and now you're saying they don't have to buy. You're forgetting that.
I think that we are at a tough point right now, because there's a lot of people who are concerned about Joe Biden's ability to carry the ball all the way across the end line without fumbling. And I think that Castro has some really legitimate concerns about, can he be someone in a long, grueling campaign that can get the ball over the line? And he has every right to call that out. I do think that tone and tenor is really
Friend, and she's a friend. She's been my friend in and out of public life. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday. All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
Chris. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont? One of the things I'm proudest of is getting passed, getting moved, getting control of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm the guy that came back after meeting with Deng Xiaoping and making the case that I believe China would join if we put pressure. Because we further support the ability, all these breakthroughs we have with dealing with the whole, $30 trillion has to ultimately be paid. This is not a Republican talking point. They can buy the gold plan, and they're not going to have to pay with regard to the Secretary's point. If, in fact, you say you can just cross the border, what do you say to all those people around the world who, in fact, want the same thing to come to the United States and make their case, but they have to wait in line? You should be able to, if you cross the border illegally, you should be able to be sent back. It's a crime. It's a crime, and it's not one that, in fact, was abusing people's rights. And the fact was that you, in fact, have been, the police officer did something that did not give you information that would exculpate your client. He put that in the law. He had talked about a comprehensive plan, which he put laid before I keep my recommendation to him in private. Unlike you, I expect you would go ahead and say whatever was said privately with him. Others came because they, in fact, thought they could fundamentally change their lives. And they did. The statute of send us your. That's what we're talking about. That's the essence of what my plan in detail lays out. I'm happy to discuss it more in detail if the senator wants to. And so I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know all of a sudden, I find it fascinating. Everybody's talking about how terrible I am on these issues. We invested significantly in this city in transportation, anyway, the point is we've made significant investments in this state. I expect in this city, bring them together to hold China accountable for the rules of us setting the rules. I hear this large savings. The president my friend from Vermont thinks that the employer is going to give you back if you negotiate his union all these years, got a cut in wages because you got insurance. And the way we do that is we make clear to China, which I have done personally with the president of China, and that is we're going to move up our defenses. I want to hear tonight how that's happened. So as far as my distinguished friend The senator on my left has not indicated how she pays for it. And they have to respond, just like I will make Bolsonaro the president of Brazil. And I would make it clear to Bolsonaro. Do you realize Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil? The fact is that the bills that the future president here, that the senator is talking about, look, we provide a Medicare option. That's exactly what Barack and I talked about in the beginning.
Couldn't get it through, though.
So I couldn't tell anybody but Barack. He's one of my closest friends. And annexed a significant portion of it called Crimea. Right. He's saying that it was my boss, it was his fault. I got assault weapons banned for 10 years. It had to be reauthorized because of hanging Chads in Florida. The last president said, no, I'm not going to reauthorize it. International leaders spoke about it. You had people like you had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany. You had Angela Merkel stand up and say how terrible it was. I found that the secretary, we sat together in many meetings. What does the president do? He says, I believe Vladimir Putin. I believe Vladimir Putin. I don't believe our intelligence committee.
Suggesting Vladimir Putin.
I'm not. I'm not. And I might add, I don't really need kind of a lecture from my friend. My friend was producing more coal mines. But President Trump and the demagogues around the world. But if Donald Trump is reelected, go to Joe 30330. Watch what happened when those kids from Parkland came up to see me when I was vice president. They went into and some of you covered it. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words. And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Excuse me, I got to get this right.
And why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
I was a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier.
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that?
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger. And so we have to just change the culture, period. And keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
And you want to check my shape on it? Let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
It is important that Iowa and Nevada have spoken, but look. Get your words straight, Jack. I'm Jill Biden's husband, and I work for Cedric Richmond. Are you joking? No. Granddaughters not only love their dads, their grandpops, they always like them, and that's the great thing. Thank you, baby. Thanks. I want you to meet Finnegan.
Well, yesterday you said you accepted Bernie's apology, and now you're attacking him. Why are you doing that?
Go.
Why wasn't his apology enough, Mr. Vice President?
Right this way,
Why attack Sanders?
Why? You're getting nervous, man.
I'm going to support you if you win the nomination because we got to get rid of Trump. But what are we going to do about climate change? Now, you say you're against pipelines, but then you want to replace these gas lines. That's not going to work. We got to stop building and replacing pipelines.
You got to go vote for someone else.
All right, thanks so much, sir. We're going to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm going to vote you in the general if you treat me
right.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I'm not.
Well, can I have a
Look, you're asking a picture of me. You're coming up and telling me you don't support me.
No.
My plan. Yeah, you did. You said
I said I will support you in the general.
In the general. I'm looking for a primary.
We're happy to get a number.
That's what I'm looking for, okay?
Just because we're finding it.
You believe that Bernie can do something by 2030?
I'm actually supporting Trump's style.
Thompson, well, that's good. He's the guy that did more
Thanks so
coal
much, sir. We
mines.
have a long line right here.
More coal than the entire country did.
All right, thanks. We're happy to get information.
You got the right guy.
Can we get a picture?
I'm Aaron.
And what I'm wondering is, how can young folks trust that you're going to fight for us on climate change when your climate advisor, your hand-picked climate advisor, served on the board of a fossil fuel company?
That is not the person who's doing my advising. And by the way, yeah, Heather worked for us in the administration.
No, I know.
Okay?
But she
look
also
at my
worked.
record.
Yeah.
Look at my record. Just look at the record.
I have President Biden, Vice President Biden.
Well, I tell you what, if you look at my record and you still doubt about my commitment, then you should vote for somebody else.
I've looked at your climate plan. Why doesn't it ban fracking?
Well, why doesn't it ban fracking? Because you can't ban fracking right now. You got to transition away from it. Look, you're going to ban fracking all across America right now, right?
I would love to.
Yeah, I'd love to too. I'd love to make sure we can't use any oil or gas, period, now. Now. Is it possible?
Yes.
Well, you ought to vote for somebody else.
Is that over those 8 years, there were 3 million people that were deported and separated from their families. Yeah. We had this classification of families.
Well, you should vote for Trump.
Families.
You should vote for Trump.
And no, I'm not going to do that. But I want to make sure that immigrant families and people like Sylvia are not afraid. And you have the power as a candidate to actually commit to stop all deportations from day one through executive action, and we want to hear you say that.
I will not stop all deportation.
I have the national firefighters. What I even, I ponder though is the incredible enthusiasm and excitement this campaign has generated, folks. A lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Biden-Obama Democrat. We're going to bring together Americans of every race, ethnicity, gender, economic station, Democrats. If you think big enough and bold enough to build the future of this nation, the one that it deserves. We can do this by building on Obamacare and standing up and beating the NRA and gun manufacturers straight up, increasing exponentially the prospects of their success.
And look, he has been a skilled debater. We saw him with Sarah Palin. We've seen him in the past. The question is, does he still have his stuff? And
spontaneity.
Yeah, and how sharp is he? Does the Joe Biden tonight, he the same Joe Biden who could respond with one word to a
you're raising the question by the question.
A younger Brian Williams,
raising the
and
question.
Just say,
A pathway for 11 million citizens. If the other guy had voted for well, I don't should get into that. I won't get going. Look, the iron workers, the steel workers.